Hi, my name is Roti Oderide. I'm a mom to two amazing boys, Lua Damisi and Emisi Lua. So basically, journey of pregnancy, it was uneventful. There was no issue, no complications, nothing. It was just a normal, exciting journey of being pregnant as a new, would I say, as a new bride. And of course, we didn't envisage certain things to happen. And unfortunately, at the point of delivery, it was actually prolonged labor. And when Damisi came out, he came out with his cord around his neck, and that was the main issue. So he didn't cry and all of that. And at that point, we had him at the private hospital. Of course, most of these private hospitals can't handle such situations, so we're referred to Lasuth, and that was where the journey started. We were in Lasuth for 2 weeks because he had to be on oxygen. They had to carry out certain tests before we were set to leave the hospital. But of course, while we're leaving the hospital, we were told we should prepare, for the worst, quote and unquote. The worst at that point, we didn't understand what was going on, but we just prepared our minds for whatever was going to happen. But at that point, he was also given appointments. We had to keep coming to the hospital just to check him and make sure everything was fine. And I think up until around 4 months, that was when we got, 4 months thereabout, that was when we got the diagnosis that he had cerebral palsy. And, we were told certain things he wouldn't be able to do, and, the things he would need throughout his life, and that we had to prepare our minds for it. So, because we didn't understand what it meant really, we had to go and read up about it, and it became clearer what the situation was. And were we fully prepared? No. Did we expect that to happen? No. Did we pray for that to happen? No. But eventually it happened, and the whole journey started from this hospital to the next hospital. At any point we felt we're not getting what we really wanted in terms of medical attention, we're ready to change, the hospital. We're not going to settle for less, at this point. So I'm sure I can count up to how many hospitals that we've been to, just because of this. But really, it took its toll on us, really. Work, life generally, home front. But we were ready to make that sacrifice, because who else was going to make that sacrifice for us? Nobody. And to be honest, we've received a lot of, support in terms of family. And let me say here that cerebral palsy is a very, very, very expensive medical condition. Very expensive. And maybe that is why I understand, certain situations, when people find themselves in these situations, it's as if that's the end for them. So, but to the glory of God, we've received a lot of, financial support from family, financial support. And we don't take any of that for granted. Even up until now, we don't take any of that for granted. And so, therapy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and all of that, we had to enroll him in that. And, because of the way some of these sessions are structured, sometimes I have to take time off work. Sometimes my husband takes time off work just to make sure he meets, and sees his doctors as at when due. And to be honest, at some point we couldn't do it again, because it's how many employers really understand these things. And that's why, we're clamoring for, an inclusive environment. Not so many employers understand. But I'm also not going to throw away the fact that I have amazing, up until this moment, I've had amazing supervisors at work. So anytime I need to go to the hospital concerning Damisi, they allow me go, without question. So it's I think it's just a fallout of having people who understand, and also you opening up, because if you keep hiding these situations, nobody's going to know and nobody will be able to render help to you. So, I'm, would I say, blessed enough to have time off work to take him to the hospital, but really, how long can you do that for? So journey up until now, we've had to get, a private therapist to come home to, work with him and all of that. And so far so good, it's been working. Along the line, because we had read up and we know that it's not a limiting condition, really. He can go to school, he can do what he's supposed to do. We started hunting for a school, and we wanted a school where we could work hand in hand with the school. We wanted a school where they had specialized, would I say, a tailor-made structure for him, because of course he wouldn't be able to do things the way every other child, will be able to do that. So we wanted something structured for him, and good enough for us. With the help of God, we found a school very close home, and it's like home away from home for him. He's always excited to go to school. He's happy on his therapy days. When he knows he's not going to school, you can actually see his countenance. He's not happy at all, but he's just, you really have to balance this thing. So he goes to school, he does homework. So Damisi doesn't miss his homework. I make sure he doesn't miss his homework. He will do his homework. He has his pencils, he has his crayons, because as a parent, I want him to live his life like every other child. The difference is just, in his mobility. He can think, he hears you when you speak, he understands what you can have a conversation with Damisi. So it's not a limiting condition. The only limiting factor will be yourself and how you handle, the situation. So he goes to school, he does homework. When his brother and his cousin, they're, swimming, he goes swimming with them. So I don't limit him. I allow him to express himself, and do every other thing he wants to do. I scold him when he's being naughty. So I don't, my thought and the way I see him is no different from his brother or from every other child. So when he's naughty, I scold him. When he has done something that is good, I celebrate him. So he's not left out on anything. So of course, we have to, certain things we have to do tailor-made for him. Outside that, he's, a quote-unquote normal child. So that's been the journey. That's been, the story so far. There's, to be honest, there's really nothing, there's been nothing dramatic about the experience, and I think that boils down to being enlightened, being educated. Really, I can't stress that enough. You just have to be, even people around you have to be educated. You need to understand what's going on, because it's when they understand what's going on, they'll be able to know the kind of help to render. They'll be able to know the kind of assistance to give to you. So it's been fantastic all through. Damisi goes for, when they have school trips, or is it excursion they call it, he goes. The only thing is that the school will always check, is it okay for him to go, and when we need him to go, he will go. So, and the only other thing is, maybe would I say the only other thing in this journey, in this story so far, is for everywhere you go with him, you have to explain to people that this is your situation. How can they help you? And you can't close. I've learned not to close my mouth concerning Damisi. I've learned to open my mouth when it has to do with him, because if you don't open your mouth, people will do certain things, and if you're not quick to understand that it's because they don't know that they have done that, you'll be very judgmental towards them. So I'm quick to open my mouth when I get to a place where we need special attention, help. I'm quick to open my mouth and say, this is the help I need, this is my situation, how can you help me? And so the more people hear about these things and see these things, it's better, because when they see someone in that kind of situation, even before the person asks for help, they already know what to do. So I think that's been it, really. I've been more vocal. I talk more about it. I don't hide him. He goes, like I said, he goes to church, he goes to school. When we are free and we have enough time, we go to the park. I think there's one very close to us at Alausa. We go to the park and, just enjoy ourselves and live life, really. So I think the only challenge is just how he's living his own life. Dietary, challenges. Of course, his food is different. The way you prepare his food is different. The way you do certain things is different. But apart from that, it's been an amazing journey and story so far. It's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing dramatic. Maybe the only drama we have had was when a family member was, quite nasty about their words, and that's been the only drama, really, and it's expected sometimes. So you must open your minds to those things. But apart from that, it's been a fantastic journey. It's a story that if anybody's willing and ready to hear, I love telling the story. And because, it's interesting when you don't expect certain things to happen to you and they happen. The story is usually sweeter than normal, because you're like, how did this even get to happen? And all of that. But it's been fantastic. It's been really, really fantastic. No issues, no challenges, really. Nothing too hard, nothing out of the ordinary. So I'm just hoping that with this, really, people will be able to come out more. People will speak more, accept your situation more, and see how you can get help. And I always tell people that the reason why, as a nation, as a society, we are where we are is because the people before us did not speak up. Because disability is not a now thing. It has always been there, but maybe because of the society and the way people are treated or the acceptance level, people did not talk. Our parents, the generations before us, did not talk, and that's why we are where we are. Because I believe if they had spoken up then, things would have been better. Advocacy would have been more, and then maybe we would have resources and facilities to cater for situations like this. So I'm hoping that by this, people, will begin to speak more. I think we have a lot of people talking more now. You have people coming out. People are not, maybe just a few people that are still maybe shy about it, or they're just a little skeptical about, what it will be like, which is understandable. But I think a lot of people are coming out more to speak, and I'm hopeful that, people will keep doing that, so that what we can do now to affect the generation after, we'll begin to do. And then, of course, the generation after will enjoy, these benefits and all of that. So it's been great. It's been fantastic. I live my life to, my best ability. I have a job, I have a business, I have what I call it like a parenting forum. So I write, I do everything I can, and I'm not allowing anything to limit me or to limit my son. And I'm hoping that anyone who finds themselves in this situation would also not limit themselves. You look inwards, project your energy, and just pass it on to your child and the society generally.